They called him a criminal, they called him a slave, but God called him Pope. This is the story of Saint Callistus I, the man who rose from chains to a throne of mercy. He was born a slave in Rome around the year 155. While others were born into comfort and power, Callistus was born into hardship. But even as a slave, he had faith, a quiet, steady faith that refused to die. His master trusted him with money, but when things went wrong, Callistus was blamed for losing it. He was beaten, humiliated, and thrown into prison. But that wasn't the end. Later, he was sent to work in the deadly mines of Sardinia, a place where most men never returned. For many, that would have been the end of their story. But not for Callistus, because even in the darkness of the mines, he prayed, and God was already preparing his freedom. Years later, a kind noblewoman convinced the emperor to release some Christian prisoners, and among them was Callistus. He returned to Rome, a free man, but not bitter. He had been broken, but not destroyed. And soon, the church saw something special in him: humility, compassion, and an unshakable love for mercy. Callistus was later ordained a deacon by Pope Zephyrinus, and when the Pope died, the unthinkable happened. The church chose Callistus, the former slave, to become the next pope. Imagine that. A man once chained and beaten for his failures, now crowned as shepherd of the entire church. But his mercy made enemies. Callistus taught that even grave sinners, those who had fallen into adultery or denial of faith, could still be forgiven if they truly repented. Many thought he was too lenient, but Callistus believed that the heart of God was bigger than human judgment. He said, "The church is not for the perfect, it is for those who want to be healed." During his time as pope, he built the first Christian cemetery in Rome, a resting place for the faithful who died for Christ. Today, it's known as the Catacombs of Saint Callistus, a place where faith conquered fear and death bowed before hope. In the end, Callistus paid the ultimate price for his faith. He was beaten and thrown into a well by a mob in 222 AD. But his death wasn't defeat. It was a crown. A crown given not to a ruler of men, but to a servant who carried the mercy of God in his heart. And so the church remembers him as Saint Callistus I, the pope who proved that no past is too broken for grace, no sin too deep for mercy, and no slave too far from the heart of God. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more saint stories that remind us heaven is closer than we think.